All right, man. So, all right, first and foremost, today was an update. January 31st. Honestly, this update I feel like should have happened on Monday, but we won't go there. Let's see what happened. So buy station locations across Urzikstan have been updated. So apparently this was in the patch notes before on Tuesday, but it didn't actually go live into the patch until today, I guess, right? Then tracker is now properly unrestricted in rank play. If y'all haven't seen this, this is actually broken. Tracker, you can see the whole outline whenever you shoot somebody. It's literally more broken than Combat Scout. And the only thing to balance it or nerf it is you can't, it doesn't work when the enemy's behind a wall. So I guess that's okay. I guess that's good. But honestly, in rank play, this is going to be abused like crazy. I don't think it should be in rank play. Then the LTV vehicle has been disabled while we investigate an issue. Tracker should not be in rank play. I do like it, but not in rank play. And then the LTV has been disabled. All right, now for rank play. At the start of season 2, we implemented new crossplay options for rank play that allow players and consoles to select the platform pools they wish to matchmake with. We have been keeping a close eye on the conversation surrounding this topic and wanted to share some additional details on how these settings interact with party members who are on different platforms. Players in a party who all belong to the same console platform will matchmake with the party leader's preferred crossplay settings. Players who have selected crossplay off and create a mixed platform party that includes a different console platform will have their crossplay settings temporarily adjusted to crossplay on or console only to enable matchmaking. This temporary adjustment enables matchmaking for the duration of the mixed platform party, and disbanding this party will result in preferred matchmaking settings being restored. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what that meant. Players who have selected crossplay off and create a mixed platform party with a PC player will have their crossplay settings temporarily adjusted to crossplay on. This enables matchmaking for the duration of Warzone. For the duration of the mixed platform party, and disbanding this party will result in preferred matchmaking settings being restored. So from what I can tell from this is pretty much just if you are host, whatever your crossplay settings are, that is what's preferred. As a reminder, adjusting crossplay settings may negatively impact matchmaking queue times. In addition, please be aware that we are investigating a known issue where crossplay on console only and crossplay off settings are being reset when relaunching Call of Duty. Honestly, I don't play crossplay, so this doesn't really affect me. But if you are a console player, and honestly, I might switch to console just because of how bad hackers have been even now after the update when they said they did some kernel level adjustments. Yeah, it's still bad. Long story short, to summarize that, it's whoever's the host. I'm pretty sure that is who has the preferred crossplay settings. All right, now let's go on to the things that actually matter. And honestly, bro, this has been a thing, in my opinion, we shouldn't even be here, in my eyes, right? Like, if they're going to nerf something that's been meta or that's been incredibly good that everybody's using for the last 3 months, in my opinion, the first time that weapon gets a pass through, it should be nerfed to the ground. I mean, 3 months is kind of insane of the same guns everybody's using. Now on Monday or Tuesday, they did an update for this gun, and they pretty much said that this gun was adjusted and it was nerfed, but everybody still used it after, and nothing else was pretty much as good with this. Honestly, XM4 having a 100 round mag, having no recoil, even with the adjustments that they made, this gun is still incredibly broken. But today, on Friday, we got an adjustment to this, and they pretty much nerfed it. Now, from what I'm hearing, it is a pretty big nerf, and they pretty much nerfed it to the ground. So maximum damage range, that means up close, nerfed it from 29 damage to 27, medium damage range from 26 to 24, and then minimum damage range, which just means at long distance is still the same, 22 damage. So honestly, this might open up the meta a little bit. I've been seeing people use the Model L. I've been seeing people use the Amy's, and I've been seeing people use the new Graza, what's it called? The Cypher. So I'm gonna try this out for myself today, but I talked to JGod, and JGod thinks it might be enough, but he said we're gonna have to wait and see. So we'll see. 100 round mag is still a thing, but they nerfed it. The sprint to fire penalty increased from 16 to 26%. The buffer stock new sprint to fire penalty is now 15%. Apparently it feels really, really clunky. So I hope this gun is nerfed to the ground. And I believe these are all the stuff that they did before the update on Tuesday. Then for the Jackal, which the Jackal is still pretty dang good. Muzzle flash for all SMGs, which is this great. Muzzle flash visibility improved when aiming down sights for all Black Ops 6 SMGs. For those of y'all that don't know, the PPSH was actually insane with muzzle flash visibility. I hope this addressed that a little bit. The Jackal PDW was still broken even after the update on Tuesday. So now the aim down sight speed slowed from 195 milliseconds to 210 milliseconds, and the sprint to fire time slowed from 110 milliseconds to 120. Do I think this is going to be enough? Maybe, maybe not. This alone, if they didn't make any other changes, I still think the Jackal will be pretty good, that and the C9. But they did make some drastic changes to the PPSH. And from what I've seen, this is going to be absolute meta. Then a lot of bug fixes. They fixed an issue that prevented players from joining their friend's party due to an error that stated they were on a different version. Now this is honestly the biggest one out of all these. I'm glad they put this at the top. For the last 3 to 4 days, we haven't been able to play with our homies, and I honestly took 45 minutes to play with 2 of my friends. That one was a big one. Finally, they addressed it, and I'm hoping it's fixed now, which I assume is going to be. Then the next one is fix an issue that caused the game to crash if players attempted to join a custom match hosted by a player on a different platform. I never ran into this, so we'll see. Fix an issue that prevented players from hearing enemy self-revive audio. Yo, I'm about to test this today because this one is actually really bad. I was looking at Warzone 1 gameplay and the self-revive audio was actually audible. What they did was they made it to where whenever the player stabs their chest, you can hear that and the syringe going, but you can't hear when there's a chime when they stand up. The next one is fix an issue causing players to move at slower than intended speeds on ascenders. This one, they do this a lot. For those of y'all that don't know, they put out a patch or they put out a fix. For example, the Ascenders, they fixed this like 2 days ago. Actually, they fixed this the day the update launched, but they didn't put a completely new patch note out. They just added it to any future patch note. So this one's has already been addressed for the last like 3 days. Fix an issue where some players would see the Prestige Master Splash in the AAR after every match. Fix an issue where Prestige challenges were not populating the nearest to completion list on the challenge tracker. Fix an issue that prevented tiers from being displayed on the challenge tracker. Fix an issue where pin challenges on the challenge tracker were not displayed correctly. Fix an issue where the challenge tracker will not automatically cycle to the next page after 8 seconds. Fix an issue that caused matches on Rebirth Island to sometimes differ in skybox lighting. Okay, I don't know what this exactly entails, but I will say sometimes lighting on Rebirth after the update was actually horrible, and then sometimes lighting was actually pretty decent. So I assume that's what that is addressing, but you never know. Fix an issue where XP earned and Black Cell XP bonuses were flipped in the AAR. And that is the last of the update for today. Honestly, in my opinion, this update today was obviously good. It feels like this was a season 2.1 update, right? A lot of these changes that they did today were supposed to go live, honestly, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, right? And this, in my opinion, is one of the biggest things that people get upset about. And I think this drives a lot of frustration. It's like they say something's in the patch notes or they say something's fixed, and then when the update actually goes live, that stuff is not actually fixed. Right? So this is what happened today. They said things were going to be fixed on Tuesday. There was a lot of these things that weren't actually fixed. And then today, Friday, they addressed a lot of things that didn't actually go live in the patch note, but they didn't go live in the update, but was actually in the patch notes. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know how this happens, but somewhere along the lines from there to when they actually implement the actual update, something's going wrong. And I understand that is probably harder than I think, but honestly, there's no excuse. Like, this has happened all the time. And if they say they're going to do something, if they put in the patch notes, they got to make sure that it actually goes live in the actual update. Now, when it comes to guns, when it comes to things like this, the XM4, like this gun has been meta for 3 months. How this is still even viable? Like even right now, you can use this gun even after the update. I saw Swag using it and he said it was okay. It's still like usable. How this gun is even still viable, I don't even know. In my opinion, if a gun has been meta for at least 2 months, whenever that gun does get nerfed, nerf it to the ground. It's had its use. People have used it. People are tired of it already. Same thing for the Jackal. This gun. Right now, you could probably still use this gun. They just made the aim down sight speed a little bit slower and the sprint to fire a little bit slower. But in my opinion, these should be nerfed to the ground to make room for other guns. Or at the very least, buff other guns so that way there's, again, maybe 3 to 5 guns that are meta. In my opinion, each player should have their individual playstyle, and when you have the same gun and only one gun being meta, there really makes for no playstyles. So in my opinion, man, I really think these guys should try to figure this out. there should not be only one primary and one secondary gun as meta. There should be 3 to 5, in my opinion, of each category. I know that's a lot to ask, but genuinely, I don't feel like that's a lot to ask. Like, a lot of people get bored and people want new content. Right now, my opinion, the state of the game is not as bad as social media is making it out to be, but I really will say that the game is just boring at the moment. There's no new content. We get the same guns over and over. Since Black Ops 6 integration, we are still using the same guns. And hopefully this update has changed that.